Hello everybody and welcome back to Full House Sports here, myself Charlie. Reminder before the video starts, please like, comment and subscribe. Anything you guys do is greatly appreciated as I try and become a one-man sports news bandwagon. Now, Tuesday sees the beginning of the Cheltenham Festival, the biggest week in horse racing, in my opinion, that the UK and Ireland has to offer. It's a phenomenal week. As a horse racing fan, it really is the best versus the best. It's England versus Ireland. It's National Hunt Racing's out to the Olympics. There is no hiding place. And yeah, a fantastic week of sport will be on show. So many storylines. There's always a story that comes out of Cheltenham. And I think this year there's going to be so much potential for so many different things to happen. And looks like as well, whereas in recent years we've seen Irish domination, that slowly but surely British horse racing might get itself back on the board. So, going to look ahead to each day's action in each individual video, sort of like my own answer to the opening show, the morning line as it used to be when I used to watch it. So first is, of course, Tuesday, tomorrow, which is the Champion Hurdle Day. And we had confirmation yesterday that Lossiemouth will run in the Champion Hurdle. Of course, they were toying with the idea of going back to the Mayor's Hurdle. Do they go the Champion Hurdle? She's an interesting contender. I think no doubt probably the absence of Constitution Hill has played a massive factor in that as well. The division isn't the strongest, let's be realistic. State Man as well, another one of Willie Mullins, is not running. So it's not a strong division at the moment, or certainly not on paper, I think, could be argued. It's a very interesting addition to a race that I think everyone's really struggling to pick the winner of. Of course, personally, I really like Golden Ace. She's been there and done it. You know, I feel like she's one who just always goes under the radar. But I think two things. I think, one, she likes Cheltenham. It's easy to write off, but she did beat Brighter Days Ahead in the Mayor's Hurdle a couple of seasons ago. Although it was probably a fluke on the day last year, the Champion Hurdle, it wasn't a fluke in terms of she has had classy horses behind her as well. Same with the Fighting Fifth early this season, which of course lost Constitution Hill in, and the New Line as well. You know, things will be argued that yes, did things fall in her favour? Potentially, but the name of the game is jumping, and she certainly does that. I can't look away from her. I think Lossiemouth might struggle over 2 miles. I think she might find it a touch sharp. Maybe 2.5 is her distance. I thought that after Bryce Days Ahead beat around Leopardstown at the Dublin Race Festival, that maybe she finds 2 miles just a touch too sharp. I don't know. It's an interesting point of view to raise, because she won the Aintree Hurdle last year as well. There is other contenders as well. The New Line, I just struggle with the New Line to be convinced that he's got enough pace to win a Champion Hurdle. That's my one issue, because yes, he won the trials race around Cheltenham, but listen, two things out of that. One is Sergino's injury was obviously, you can play the what-if game as much as you want, but I do think that was a massive factor. And I'm just not entirely sure that he's got the pace to win it, especially when the pace in the air when he jumps his hurdles. Like I say, I can't look past Golden Ace. I also think, and it wouldn't surprise me, if Poneros or Alexi ran big races at bigger prices. I do think that they are both contenders. Poneros, of course, won the Triumph Hurdle last year around Cheltenham. I think he's got potential to get into the top three. And Alexi as well was impressive in the Kingwell Hurdle. Of course, it's a step up in class, but I think it's a wide open race. You go through every horse. Tutti Quanti, we don't know how good he is. Of course, he won around Newbury and everyone went, that's incredible. Let's supplement it for the Champion Hurdle. Because it's such an open division, it's hard to definitively pick your contender. I just personally can't look past. Well, I can look past, but I just really fancy Golden Ace in this one. I think the race of the day will be the opener, though, the Supreme, the traditional Cheltenham Raw, which is one that I think is a red-hot race. The confirmation of Mighty Park in it is absolutely huge. It adds so much to a race that already has so many contenders in, with El Kairos, who, listen, talk the talk. Joseph O'Brien is talking the talk about him being one of the best horses he's potentially ever trained, I think he said in a quote, or I think Kevin Blake quoted him as. And of course, there is Old Park Star, who Nicky Henderson is very, very keen on. It's it's a real pick what you like, but I do struggle to look past Old Park Star, I must be honest, because I do think he is, on his day, a fantastic horse. And I think if his form this season is anything to go by, he looks head and shoulders above anything we've seen, certainly on this side of the channel. The question is how strong that Irish form is. I think another interesting horse that has perhaps unfairly been discarded is My Daddy Paddy of the Skeltons. I like him. I thought earlier in the season he had all the hallmarks of a class horse. Yes, he's had a defeat since then, but I still do think there's a good horse in there. And I think, will he win? Probably not. But I do think he is an interesting factor to throw into what is a very good race as well. The red hot race, I think a lot of good horses will come out of. The Arkle as well after that is a hot race. Come at the board has interestingly moved on. I thought Nicky Henderson's quotes before, or when he was overlooking Cheltenham this morning or yesterday morning about Lulamba will need further in time, were very interesting. He doesn't sound as confident as perhaps he did after Lulamba won the graduation chase around Newbury, which I actually quite like that performance. He hit a flat spot, but still had enough to come through against some seasoned operators. Cope at the board, I can't make my mind up on, to be honest with you. I think he's a class horse, but I wonder if he'll find it a touch sharp. Is more what I'm thinking. If his jumping will be good enough to win an Arkle. That's the question. But all the talk coming out of Ireland, coming out of Charlie McCarthy's mouth is, listen, he's in great form. Ruby Walsh seemed very keen on him. Talk about the piece of work he did recently. Yeah, it's hard when the Mullins camp are feeling confident about a horse. It's hard to go against them. There is, of course, other races. The Ultima is always a race I like because I think it gives a lot of pointers to the Grand National. Again, I think Jaguar's going for that one. It's got a Grand National entrance. Roko looks like they're going for that one as well. A horse I like, Martown, as well. Of course, won it last year. Could go back to back. But Cinder Russell knows how to do that before. She did it with Correct Rambler, of course. I think that's the horse that I would be going for that. But I do love these competitive staying handicaps. It's a race that Ireland don't actually have a great record in. So one that maybe the Brits could get. And I'll say Martown would be the one where I would go for in that. But Jaguar is definitely one who, like I said, they've got the Grand National in mind with Jaguar, definitely. Of course, there is also, at the end of the day, the National Hunt Chase, which again is a race that I really enjoy watching. Back Me or Sack Me is the favourite, but the one that I do like, and I think Gary O'Brien put it up as well, was Weighed Out by Sean Bowen, or forward by Sean Bowen, with Sean Bowen on board. Of course, no longer amateur jockeys riding the race. Ollie Murphy won a novice chase earlier on the season around Cheltenham. Yes, got beat at Windsor, but I still think that race is wide open, and I just can't warm to Back Me or Sack Me. I've got to be honest. I know Emmett Mullins is known for his hot pots, and I know if he's a target trainer, if he's targeting a horse at something, there's a good chance that it will be up there or thereabouts. But like I say, I really like Weighed Out, and I think he could get Sean Bowen and Ollie Murphy on the board at the meeting. It's going to be a great day of racing. I'm really looking forward to it, as per usual with Cheltenham. It's a race that brings back memories for me, without getting deep on the camera. But it's a festival. You know, I used to watch it. My granddad, who was a huge horse racing fan, and used to go up there and watch it with him, or watch the recordings when I was at school. And then when I managed to get it off work, we'd go up and watch it with him. It's a meeting that means a lot to me personally, and I'm really excited to watch it, I must say, or when I can, when I'm finished work, be able to watch the remainder of the day and catch up. As always, guys, let us know what you think. Please like, comment and subscribe. Please don't get any, these aren't tips. I'm not tips or anything like that. I'm just saying my opinions. As always, guys, let us know what you think. Please like, comment and subscribe. Anything you guys do is greatly appreciated as I try and become a one-man sports news bandwagon. Have a great day.